you said it in the last section, and this is the kind of momentum that will take you to the summit of the division, isn't it?
It is, and like I don't know what it is, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's June the 1st against Joseph Parker. I wouldn't be shocked. I don't know, and this is my own head. I haven't heard anything, no rumors. I never hear any rumors. I keep myself to myself. But I mean, I wouldn't be shocked because again, what did he do a couple of weeks ago? Threw 12 punches, knocked the guy out. Like you've had the camp for that. I mean, more fights, less camps. So he's already fit. You haven't got to go through that rigor of again really fit again. No, you just got to taper down, make sure he's loose, and get a little bit fitter again. But you got more technical stuff to do now. And Joseph Parker, no, it wasn't a grueling fight for him. He had to go more rounds, of course. But I think I think if he's injury free, that's the end of the match. You've got April, May. You've got April, May to get ready. That's fine. I think it is fine. I think that's enough. That's enough time to get ready. Let's go back to the 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s when I was boxing. That's no. Someone gives you 2 months' notice, you're laughing. You think, what am I going to do what am I going to do the other 3 weeks? I got to mess around for 3 weeks, then I can get ready. I think there's time for him. So I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up being on that bill or the top of the bill. If he is though. If he is, that's the biggest bull they've done to date. I think that would be. If he's on that, better be on that and everything else.
I said it in the last section. You could literally throw the balls in the air and come up with anyone outside Fury and Usyk. And maybe if Dubois and Hrgovic are taken up, you could literally put him in against any of those guys. And you'd expect him at the moment. Maybe Frank Sanchez might be a little bit of a difficult opponent.
What about Martin Bakole?
Martin Bakole.
He had the brilliant win in Saudi, didn't he? In October, he looked fantastic, and like, he's a massive giant.
Yeah,
technically very good. And Joshua's full of confidence now. And the money's there. Like that's the big incentive for him, the money. And so it's there for him to take, and like every fight's fraught with danger in that division. So you might as well just take any fight you're given.
Yeah, I agree with you as well that over the last 5 months, the real guys to benefit are Parker and Joseph Parker and Anthony Joshua. If you recall when Parker and Joshua fought the first time as well, we didn't get a great fight because the referee from Italy, Quartazzoni, actually told them off for punching at times. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
at close quarter, it was very, very one of the worst performances I've ever seen, if I'm being honest, from a referee where he didn't. Yeah. I remember when they both went down on their haunches when they, by about round 10 or 11, he let them actually exchange a couple of times, and they both felt each other's power. But it was a weird fight. Again, Joshua did well in that contest, and Joseph was a bit one-paced.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think we have a different Joseph Parker now. We have a Joseph Parker more, even though he was world champion back then, he lost his title to Anthony Joshua that night. But he's a different fight now. I think he's a fight with more confidence, more strength, and he's matured. Let's not forget that. He was a baby back then. Now he's a grown man, and he's full of strength. He knows what he's good at. He believes he can do stuff. And and Joshua has gone through a roller coaster of emotions to get to where he is now. But he's as close as we've seen to him being back to where we thought he was, back then to now. So I mean, it's a better and a harder fight, I felt, for Joshua.
Well, he's got a great team now that believes in him, and he believes in them, and they're very good at strategy. I think Lee Wiley and Ben Davis, and they analyze a lot. They clearly said as soon as Ngannou turns southpaw, get that right hand into effect, which was the mistake that Ngannou made. He took literally no damage. Just final thing on that, the public perception of him has changed, which is brilliant. I call him Mark III now. George Foreman always said to me, I interviewed him a couple of times about Anthony Joshua, and he said, he just needs to know what he is. It's as simple as that, and just be that. And if he finishes his career with 35-5, then so be it. I mean, he's incredibly successful. He's an extraordinary athlete. I mean, physically, when you stand next to him, I saw you out in Saudi working with him. I mean, he is a giant, Barry.
To be fair,
He is genuinely a giant.
I make everyone look big. To be fair, but yeah, yeah, he is. He is a big
You'd have
guy.
destroyed his midriff anyway. You'd have destroyed his midriff.
I beat him once.
But that perception change. What I was going to ask was, does he stay fighting in Saudi Arabia, or is it time to have a fight back in the UK as well, or is it he's earning too much money out there to give that up?
Yeah, you go where the money is. And fighters always have. It was just a quick note on that. Like we all want the fights in the UK, but the boxing fan of the last 15 years have been spoiled. Or 10 years definitely have been spoiled because most of the big fights we've had have been in the UK. But when I was growing up, even when I was boxing, all the big fights, the huge fights, went to America because that's where the money was. I mean, Joshua is a big part of it, brought the stadium fights, made stadium fights normal in the UK, with others as well. But he was doing really made it a steadfast. But we've always had the massive domestic clashes, even at world level, stay in the UK. But ultimately, once a fighter got really good, he had to go to America to make his money. But it was the same for like a Welsh fight. He had to go to London. A fight from North had to go to London. London was the base. Then Manchester for a while. It's always somewhere where you have to go for the money. You usually have to travel. Now it's just Saudi Arabia. It's just a new place. Riyadh. Yeah. It's just the new Vegas, the new New York. It's just that. And it might be forever. It might be for a little while. It might be somewhere else. And fights will happen in the UK. We'll have big fights there. It's just everyone's been spoiled. And that's all. Which was great for boxing. And we need it. We need big fights in British boxing to keep, because if you can't go to watch a fight, going to watch a fight live as a kid is what made me. I fell in love with Barry McGregor watching on TV, but going to watch a live show,
it's amazing, yeah.
But still, no, we'll still have big fights over here. With maybe September, of course. There's a rumor about there being a big fight in Wembley in September. But either way, he goes where the money is. He knows he knows who he is. Not just in the ring, outside of the ring now, Gareth. He's comfortable in his own skin for the first time for a long time, and that's a good thing, and a good, healthy place to be.
Absolutely. Well, we've had 8 stadium fights, I've just counted in my head, since 2014. Froch and Groves, 5 Joshua, 2 Tyson Fury fights. And I'm talking Spurs, Cardiff, or Wembley, the biggest stadiums in the UK. I mean, come on, 8 of those in the last decade. It's kind of amazing. One of them on December the 3rd, by the way, when Fury fought Derek Chisora at Spurs. There were still 70,000 people there. We are in a halcyon period for the sport. It's always my pleasure to be joined by Barry Jones here on Fight Night Extra. We'll be back next week, but don't miss all the action at the weekend. We've got Fight Night Live on Saturday night, but we've also got the live event, Fraser Clark, Fabio Wardley. My thanks to Barry Jones. We'll see you next time.